It's Valentine's Day, but we gotta start with a breakup. Would you still love me if I was a worm?
What if I was a bird?
Your loved ones are there. The vibe is there. People make the vibe.
That's just not right. Like,
Hey guys, and happy Valentine's Day. Oh, I'm so excited. Is this our first episode released on the official holiday? I think it is. I think this is what I'm going to call the first holiday special. Of course, I had to dress up in, the pinks and the reds for you guys. Some of my favorite colors, of course, but also happy Love Day, whether you're celebrating with your loved one, your partner, your friend, your besties, your gal pals, whomever it is. I hope you are having the loveliest, coziest, comfiest Galentine's, Valentine's, Love Day, and Love Weekend. I think it's going to be a fun one. Now, today's theme is love is in the air. So, we are diving into a lot of relationships, chaotic and hopefully cozy, but we will see. But when people say love is in the air, will it smell like roses and love and laughter, or is something amiss? Our first story is from the subreddit AITA. Am I the hole for leaving my own birthday dinner because my girlfriend turned it into a proposal for herself? I, 28-year-old male, had my birthday dinner last weekend, and my girlfriend, Sarah, 27-year-old female, offered to plan it. I was excited because I usually keep things low key, but she said she wanted to make it special. She booked a nice restaurant and invited close friends and family. Everything was going great until it was time for dessert. The waiter brought out a cake, but instead of my name, it said, "Will you marry me, Sarah?" I was completely blindsided. Sarah got all teary-eyed, turned to me and said, "Well, this is the best surprise ever, right?" Everyone around us started clapping, and her friends were filming. I just sat there stunned. She took my silence as hesitation and started going on about how she knew I wasn't, quote, big on grand gestures, but she couldn't wait anymore, so she took matters into her own hands. Wait, give me a second here. This is giving the energy of the best gift for you is a gift for me type of vibe. First off, who wants to share a proposal date with a birthday? Usually, I think this is almost like some unwritten rule somewhere, some social unwritten rule where you don't want to share special occasions with each other. You want them all spread out throughout the year so you have multiple things to celebrate. Second off, she organized her own proposal to herself, addressed to herself, paid for everything. So is OP just there? Like, is OP boyfriend there just to exist as a prop? He had no say, he had no opinion, and I'll be honest, I think this is a pretty bad birthday gift. It's a proposal, but it's pretty terrible, no? Babe, your gift this year for your birthday is going to be a gift for me. How's that sound? And what's worse is it's in a public setting. I mean, okay, it's not public, like outdoors public, but it's public where all their close friends and family are there. And I don't know about you guys, even if I don't like a gift, usually I feel pressured if there are other people watching to react a certain way. You just kind of have to say, "Gee, this is great. Thanks. Just what I wanted. Thank you." Even if internally you're like, "This is the worst gift ever. Why would anyone ever do this? Why? But what do you do when it's a proposal involving you that you had no idea about? I think this is a really really red flag indeed, but really big red flag. What do you think? Is this sweet, or is it a little bit too much on the verge of crazy?
I mean, just straight up crazy.
Oh, it's kind of scary. But
there's nothing about it that doesn't say that OP's, I guess, girlfriend is.
But she loves him. It's the ultimate romantic gesture.
It's not. I mean, if you could even play devil's advocate here to say that maybe the OP was promising a proposal for, let's say, years and years, and it never happened.
Mm-hmm.
But still, like that is just not.
Even with that context.
Yeah, not the right context, not the right time to do it.
Oh, she kind of had the trifecta here. Not the right time, not the right place, not even the right thing to say. How to give someone the most horrible gift ever, But let's see how OP takes it. I wonder if he's gonna bow into it and just say, in front of everyone, "Oh, yeah, yeah, go along with it." Or if he's just gonna be like, "Okay, no, this is crazy. I'm gonna call this out right now." OP says, "At that moment, I stood up and said, 'This is my birthday. If you wanted a proposal, you should have talked to me about it first.' Then I grabbed my stuff and walked out." Sarah was mortified, and her friends blew up my phone, calling me an a hole for embarrassing her and ruining the night. She even said I humiliated her when she was just trying to do something romantic. Now, my family is split. Some say I should have just gone along with it for the night, while others think she crossed a major boundary. So, am I the a hole for leaving my own birthday dinner because my girlfriend hijacked it for a proposal? Absolutely no. No, I can't believe I'm saying this, but ghosting a proposal by walking away from it, no, you're not an a-hole. I'm surprised that some of your family members actually said that maybe you should have gone along with it for the night. And this is where I'm saying some people feel pressured to put up a front, kind of be cordial in the face of something that is way out of line, way off her rocker chaotic. I am guessing that the friends knew. I think the close friends knew. Because what do you mean? He storms off and now he's getting all these texts, angry texts from her friend saying, "Why did you do that? You're such a jerk. You humiliated her." So this was all planned. Maybe OP was one of the only people that didn't know.
Yeah, because how would you misinterpret OP standing up and saying, "Yeah, this is basically my birthday and not a proposal"? How do you misinterpret that? You could tell right away that OP did not plan this.
No. I will say there's one thing I agree with is that it's definitely humiliating for the girlfriend and embarrassing. I have to say, it's Valentine's Day, but we got to start with a breakup. Bring on the B. This is no. Usually, when someone proposes a future with you, I would say, "Oh yeah, that's so good. That's a sign that they see their whole lives with you, their whole life with you, and they want to be romantic and do this grand gesture." But in this case, yeah, it's I can't even say it's too much of a good thing. It's just overboard. But let's see what the comments say. I will note this story was pretty popular. It was posted 2 days ago with 25.5K upvotes. So a lot of people had something to say about this one. First comment, "I guess the gift she gave you was to show you her true colors. Not the whole, and you might be dodging a bullet there." I agree. I guess the story is in line with the theme because her true color is freaking red. Another comment from Helena Flowers. "She didn't just turn it into a proposal. She turned it into a proposal where she proposed to herself on your behalf. That is not rational behavior in the least. If she wanted to propose, she could have proposed to you from as herself to you." Oh, that is true. Wait, now that I think about it, wouldn't that have been the normal? Well, not that there's much normal about her way of doing things here, but wouldn't the girlfriend, if she really wanted to, she could have proposed to OP? Wouldn't recommend it on the birthday, but she could have dropped down the knee, or if she didn't want to drop the knee, asked instead. Instead, she pulled up the whole cake and everything to herself. In a way, jokes aside, I think it's also very selfish the way she handled it because she made his birthday, his special day, all about what she wanted and what she saw the gift as, I guess. It wasn't about, "Oh, how do I make my person happy?" It was about, "How do I make my person fit into this mold of what I want for this event?" Ew. Oh, no, no. Comment continues. "But no, she wanted the public moment of her being proposed to and decided your birthday was the perfect time for her to give this to herself. She was, quote, trying to do something romantic, but you weren't the intended recipient. She was. It was nice of her to show you what she values because it definitely isn't you. You're a prop for her, and at least now you know that for sure. Absolutely, positively, not the whole." I agree. Dude, you got to break up with her. I'm just saying, for your own sanity. You don't know what else she might pull for the next holiday. I mean, Valentine's is coming up. She might pull out a second cake that says, "Sarah, will you marry me? Part two." I feel like she might try again if you guys are still together.
See, I'm kind of questioning then OP's judgment of his partner's, like, I guess, sanity. It's just there must have been other
Other
instances.
signs?
Yeah, other signs. Like someone just doesn't do it out of nowhere.
I agree.
Because especially since I'm assuming they're maybe ready to be married,
Yeah.
or I guess not. But they must have been together for quite some time, I would assume.
Yeah. I wish there was more context. It doesn't seem like there's any, but let's see if there's some sort of update. Nope, there's no update, unfortunately. Even if there were signs, I feel like this is not the way to go about it. Well, I mean for the proposal, not for the craziness. There is no justifying the craziness. I am wondering, you know what it's giving? I wouldn't be surprised if she had their whole future laid out already. And I don't mean a cutesy, like, oh, babe, like, we're going to live together and succeed in our careers and do all these fun things. Like, no, I mean, she has, like, what is that chart where people do for a crime scene where they connect the dots with the little pins on the board? What is that? Like a pin board, I guess? Crime scene pin board, draft, whatever. I wouldn't be surprised if she had a whole binder, a legit physical or digital binder detailing we're going to get married on this date. We're going to be doing this here. This is when we're going to have our first kid. All of that planned out without OP ever knowing or participating. I would not be surprised.
See, if you were to pull something like that, I think I would be able to at least get an idea ahead of time, or I can at least connect the dots of where this is coming from. Because
What do you mean, honey? You mean you didn't take a look at my binder upstairs full of the details of when we're going to have everything in our life planned? I've had it for 5 years. What do you mean? You haven't taken a look yet?
mm,
I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding. Gosh. Or am I? Maybe this was all planned.
mm.
Dun dun dun. So there's no verdict yet, but I'm going to speak for you, me, the world of regular people and say, please break up. I feel unsafe for you and your life decisions. Please break up, and you're definitely not the a-hole. So that was our first story. Do you agree with my thoughts here? Do you agree with M's thoughts? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this episode so far, don't forget to like this video and hit subscribe, guys. Although if you're tuning in from Spotify, don't forget to rate this podcast 5 stars. Thanks, guys. Now, our second story is our wild pick. And wild pick is just that, a story that's a little kooky, a little bit out there. But when I saw it, I thought, oh, you guys have to hear this one. This one is from the subreddit AITA I'd. Am I the old for telling my husband that I'd probably act to save my life over his in a hypothetical life death scenario? Okay, let's see where this one's going. OP says, my husband is extremely upset about how I think I may respond in a hypothetical situation where I'd have to choose my life or his. At the end of a horror thriller show I've been watching on Netflix, a husband tries to off his wife to save his life after a smart home AI threatens to kill him if he doesn't. He later tells his wife and children that the AI threatened to hurt the children, but before it self-destructs, it tells the wife that it would never hurt the kids. It seems like she chooses to divorce him in the end, though it's not totally clear as it ends right after the resolution. After watching the show, while I was explaining it to my husband, I mentioned that it seemed like the husband was in a pretty difficult situation, and that while I wouldn't love it or enjoy it, if I'm being completely honest, I think I'd probably act to save myself as well if I had to make the choice. I know survival instincts are powerful, and I feel like I'd default to self-preservation. I clarified that this doesn't mean that I think my life is more important than anyone else's, just that I don't think someone else's life is more important than mine either. My husband got extremely upset. He called me selfish, a narcissist, and even questioned if I was human. At one point, he called me a selfish piece of shit and said I've killed a relationship by admitting this. He said that I disgust him and that he doesn't know how he's supposed to love me after hearing that. I tried to explain that it was a hypothetical situation and that it doesn't reflect how I feel about him.
Uh,
Why are you laughing?
man.
Way to kill the, it's like way to kill the mood, girl. I'm just imagining they're watching this like fun movie thriller, and then at the end the credits are rolling. Wife turns to you and just goes, "So if I was in that situation, no offense, but you would go down first." Oh. I still love you though. What the? Okay. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of one of those hypotheticals. The whole, I am guilty of asking M, my fiance, behind the camera here, this question all the time. I'll say, would you still love me if I was a caterpillar? Wait, no, it's not
A
caterpillar.
worm.
Yeah, worm. Would you still love me if I was a worm?
What if I was a bird?
Oh my goodness. You know what he said? The first time I said that, he said, I would eat you. Uh, First off, when do people eat worms? And then his immediate thought process, even now, is, what if I was a bird? I'm like, why? Why would I be consumed? What happened to, oh, you know how on internet, like I've seen some people respond? They go, oh, I put my girlfriend, my worm girlfriend in my little pocket and carry her around with me or something. Well, mystery solved, guys. In this case, I would just be gone.
See, if I was a bird, then yeah, probably.
What if you were a human? I was a worm.
That just makes no sense. I'm sorry.
Oh my goodness!
This is not a hypothetical. This is unrealistic.
This is a hypothetical. You're
This
telling
can
me
never happen.
the crazy AI robot running amok is more. Well,
I think that's more likely.
okay.
Right? That's at
You
least a
got me there.
possibility. You
Dang.
being a worm is literally impossible, I would say.
What if I was though?
But you're not.
See, this is how it would happen. So I guess we just won't know. Either I'm gonna end up with being devoured by bird fiance over here, or I don't know. He probably would just flick me off his desk or something. He won't even question. It's like, oh, my fiance's gone, but there's a worm in this place. Flick, and I would just like go fly. That's exactly how it would go. Now, all right. Let's bring it to a more realistic scenario. If we had an AI robot in the house that went crazy, went cuckoo, went bonkers, and threatened to take over the household and threatened you, and you had to off me in order to survive, even though that makes no sense when you think about it. Because when the robot, if it was smart, would just off both of us, I feel like why pick one over the other? But whatever. What would you do?
Well, I would definitely not off you. That would not even be an option.
Are you sure? Like the wife here was very confident. She just straight up went there.
I mean, I get the preservation instinct, but that's just not right. Like I get it. Like if you're, let's say, put yourself in a different situation. Let's say you're in the water and like you cannot swim or something, and you both are kind of
yeah,
going down.
If me
right?
or
Like,
someone else were
yeah,
to
like
be drowning type of thing. Yeah.
I get it if you're kind of trying to save yourself and you can't help someone, but to put someone else in harm to save yourself is just on another level. Like I
Yeah,
would say that is
I
just
agree.
complete a-hole move.
Yeah,
Like I get it, you might live, but it's just, how do you live with yourself at that point?
that's true. Well, I guess to put in context, Em and I watch a lot of like thrillers or like survival apocalyptic shows, right? And you always see I guess the common type of survivors. There's the one that are, I guess, or to sum them up, it would be more like they're gonna shove someone down the bus, like under the bus, to buy themselves maybe like a minute extra of survival. Like they don't care what the means are as long as they get to survive and they're still standing. And then there's the second type who are like try to save everyone, which I don't know. It usually doesn't pan that well for that person either. And then there's the third type where they don't go out of their way to shove someone under the bus, right? But they're just going to be focused on themselves to survive because they don't know what to do. So they're just like, let me just run away because I don't know what to do. Which they're all different ways of survival. I agree with you here is that you can try your best to survive, but to go out of your way to harm someone else, man, that's a different type of psycho. I don't know. That's a different type of
I guess technically OP is not going out of her way to, but it's still you're making that decision.
Yeah. Oh, she's making it very early on.
Right.
I mean, they're not even in a life-threatening situation. She's ready to she's like, you're going down. I'm not. No offense, hubby. I have to say, I think husband's reaction is kind of justified. I know he's saying a lot of mean things. He's calling her selfish, narcissist. Like, how can you say that? You're killing our relationship. I think I might be on hubby's side.
Yeah, but I guess what I was going to say, but is he wrong?
I don't think so. Because here's the thing. What bothers me is her instant reaction to saying that. It was unsolicited. They weren't having a discussion about survival. Like, what would you do? It was literally just, oh, movie ended. And she went, yeah, I'd do the same. It's just like, I think it's one of those moments, telltale moments, where you see a different side of your partner that you never saw, and it's an ugly side. that you're not able to accept. Like it's a side that crosses a boundary of yours. And I think that was the moment. I can't believe I'm saying this right after we dropped the B word. Is divorce in the air? Forget love, it's divorce. Divorce is pungent here, I want to say. But let's see. Maybe OP recovers from this for all we know. She says, I tried to explain that it was a hypothetical situation and that doesn't reflect how I feel about him. Now he's distant and hurt, and I'm wondering if I'd have been better off keeping this to myself. But on the other hand, I'm upset at how a hypothetical situation has made my husband treat me so poorly. So, am I the a-hole for admitting that I'd probably prioritize my own survival in a life-threatening scenario? Let me rephrase this for you, OP. It's not, am I the a-hole for admitting that I prioritize my own survival? It's, am I the a-hole for admitting that I'd off my husband if I were to be threatened? Um, yes. Read this post to yourself out loud and see if you change your mind. I mean, think about the other shoe, right? Or the other foot. What is the phrase? When you're trying to think about the other perspective, it's like the shoe on the other foot or the glove in the other hand.
You put yourself in the other person's shoes, I guess. Is that what you
Yeah,
meant?
but am I mixing the phrases up? Because there's like multiple, oh, it's on the other hand and put yourself in someone's shoes. And I somehow
Yeah.
mixed it up so that you put the glove on the other hand. Dang it. So my point here is, imagine the reverse, OP. If your husband, after watching this great movie, I'm assuming because you guys watched it all the way to the end, if your husband immediately turns around and says, honey, no offense, but boo, if a crazy robot was coming after me and said I had to do it, I'd have to do it. Sorry, tough luck. It's just the way she says it is so careless that I'm a little bit concerned. Like, no offense, Opie, I would not want to be on an island alone with you. You would be the last person I would want to be lost in an island with.
Yeah, especially that type of person might get in their head that this is what they have to do to
Oh no.
survive. And in reality, they don't even have to do it.
The justifiers.
Yeah.
No. It wasn't me. I didn't mean to do this. I was forced to do this. And no
Yeah.
one actually forces
There
them
was
to do
not
anything.
enough food on the island, so I had to off everyone else.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm getting that vibe from OP. There is some additional info and update. But before we look into that, let's see what the comments say. Oh, I just know this will be juicy. First comment, would you have been better off keeping it to yourself? I mean, duh. Another thing OP might benefit from, the very old and known traditional saying of, if you don't have anything nice to say, maybe the best thing is to not say anything at all.
I would say yes, but in this particular situation, I think that's fine. Let people like that come out.
Let them
And
expose themselves.
Yeah, let them expose themselves.
Whew. How do you not have the social awareness to hear yourself? That's what scares me. Another comment, I don't understand why you told him this, especially since the context isn't that I ran away from a burning building to make sure I didn't get burned to death, but instead, would I murder you at the direction of an evil artificial intelligence? You know what? Kudos to OP. Honesty is the best policy here, I guess, for her. Commenter also says, I think if my wife told me this, I'd be extremely hurt. I would probably try not to make a big deal out of it, but I would definitely feel weird about it. Honestly, I would probably feel worse that she told me about it than the fact that she thinks that but would do it. Yeah, I would actually agree in this. Like on one hand, I want to know what my partner actually thinks about it, but then knowing about it would hurt even more because they thought this and they thought it would be chill to say out loud and that I would react normally after they said it. Commenter also says, I think you have to expect that he's hurt. I don't know what else to tell you. I don't think should be a major issue in your relationship, but I definitely do think it's kind of strange to tell somebody else after watching a movie that, yeah, I would try to kill the person I love too. No, I have to disagree there, commenter. I think this is a major issue in a relationship. What's worse than your partner literally telling you that they would off you if needed, if necessary? Tell me one thing that your partner could tell you that's worse than that. Come on. Actually, okay, maybe if M decided to go completely vegan and not only went vegan for himself, but forced me to become vegan, that would be pretty horrible. That would be on par for me. That would be pretty like groundbreaking in a bad way.
I'm sure you could get used to it.
No, don't make me live that life. I support people who want to eat the way they want to eat, but I love my steaks and my seafood. I can't live without it. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of judging the commenter now because he said, "Oh, this isn't a big deal. I mean, it's pretty bad. You shouldn't have said it out loud, but you should have kept it yourself." And yeah, relationship should still be fine after this. I'm getting those vibes from this comment. Like, sir, I'm kind of or whoever. I mean, the username is Matthew, so sir, I am judging you a little bit, or actually intensely. Another comment: your diplomacy skills are lacking. It would be really funny if OP turned out to be like a diplomat as her job, or some sort of like a lawyer or something. That would be hilarious. Has this changed your mind about anything before we go into the updates?
Nope.
You stand firm? Would this be a deal breaker for you? If we're watching a movie and I just turned to you and said, "You see that one that just fell, honey, because someone pushed him down? That's you. And the one pushing would be me."
I would probably have to say yes.
Yeah? I would agree. I wouldn't blame you. At that point, I'd be questioning my own sanity if I ever said that. So here's the additional info or update. For further context, this is not the first time he's talked to me like this. We've been married for 3 years, but together for about 8. He has serious anger issues that he has had nonlinear and inconsistent success at improving. Honestly, after being spoken to that way for years, I'm numb and struggle with loving him as deeply as I want to. I understand that I didn't need to say this to him, and I didn't think it through when I was saying it because I was just thinking out loud and processing the show while talking with him. I have since apologized to him for saying out loud, and he apologized for talking to me the way he spoke to me. What gets me is she said, I have since apologized to him for saying it out loud. She doesn't regret it. She has no regrets. She stands by what she says. Girl went, nope, I'm standing by it. She's like, I imagine the apology went something like, I'm sorry, honey. I shouldn't have said it out loud. I should have kept it to myself after all. Like, girl, that is not the big problem here. And okay, it's hard to judge, right? Because we're only seeing one side of the conversation. And OP is obviously going to be biased in some way. But what do you mean you guys have been together for 8 years and married for 3? And you would totally off him if needed. Girl, I think because you also say that this is how you thought out loud and you said it, I don't think you like your husband very much. I think there's some underlying issue perhaps in the relationship. Because the fact you also brought up his anger issues, you didn't acknowledge his feelings at all. You're kind of blaming what he said on anger, but I think his anger and his words were justified. You were selfish. Uh, I'm confused.
Right. I would say maybe like husband's reaction in terms of choice of words, maybe that was,
Harsh,
you could
maybe?
say harsh and
Yeah.
too much, but you have to like see past that and understand his feelings and not, I don't think it was just the anger fit came
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
which came out of nowhere. I think he was kind of, I guess, justified in his feelings. I don't know if it was justified with the way he maybe said it or how you got angry about it, but I feel like that part was not addressed at all.
No, it felt like they had a very big argument over, I guess, a few phrases, right? But it was about something underlying, like an underlying issue in the relationship. And then they both just went, oh, I'm sorry what I said when I was angry. Oh, I'm sorry for saying what I said out loud. All right, we're good now. Like, it just feels like the problem was not resolved. I'm not gonna lie. If husband was listening to this right now, I would say, sir, anger issues or not, you probably have your own issues, right? You're probably not like, ray of sunshine all the time either. But I just wouldn't recommend anybody stay in a relationship where you have this type of vibe going. The vibe is very much giving an apocalyptic event. Everyone's out on their own, like everyone's out for themselves type of vibe. I don't know. This does not feel like a partner that has your back. It feels like a partner that's ready to stab you in the back if needed.
Yeah, I would say that doesn't even have to be apocalyptic event. It
Oh,
could
that's
be
true.
just very
Yeah.
difficult situation,
Yeah.
whatever it may be.
Yeah. I'm being dramatic, but Em's right. There is no verdict yet, as the story is very fresh, 13 hours old, but I can confidently peer into the future, and hopefully Reddit will agree with me, and you guys will too, maybe, that, yeah, it is time. It's time to chop, break this up. Now, would it be a Valentine's, a loving episode if I'd include a story about food? This one is from the subreddit, Am I the Hole? Am I the hole for not passing it on at the food cart? Do you know what passing it on is? Like the trend of doing that? Or I guess some people say paying it forward or
Oh,
something.
you pay for someone else or
Yeah.
something?
Like there's a trend, and I don't know if it was started from YouTubers or social media, but it's where, say you're at a Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts, whatever, you might order a coffee or whatever, and then you'd say to the cashier, "Hey, I'd like to get this, so this coffee, my order, and whatever the person behind me wants to order."
Oh,
So
okay.
it's that idea. And then the person behind is like, "Oh, wow, that's so nice of you. Thank you." You know, it's a pretty wholesome gesture, I want to say. But let's see how it plays out in OP's situation. OP says, I was standing in a long line at a food cart waiting to get a popcorn refill, and the gentleman ahead of me gave his order, then said, "And whatever he wants," directing his generous smile my way. I immediately protested, "Sir, you don't need to pay for mine." But he said he wanted to, and I didn't want it to be a thing, so I thanked him. Then he looked me in the eye and expectantly said, "Pass it on." He smiled again and looked at the long line behind me before turning to get his order. I got my refill of popcorn and said, "Thank you again." And he looked so disappointed that I left instead of saying, quote, "I'll pay for the guy behind me." And he stopped me and seriously said, "Make sure you pass it on someday." I repeated the words of someone I once tried to pay back. Quote, "Pay it forward. That's what it's all about." I thanked him again and escaped. So, what are your thoughts so far?
Man, I don't know. Seems that the whole paid back gesture was really unwanted from OP's side,
Mm-hmm.
which I mean, I guess I guess that's your choice. I mean, I can say
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, that's someone's choice. I don't know. I'm like 50-50 on this one, but I would say when you think about it, it should be someone's choice whether they want to do it or not. And
Yeah.
you can't really
Yeah.
kind of force someone into doing it.
I feel like it destroys the meaning,
Right, right,
the intent of the action in a
right.
way. So I think I have a hot taker. I don't think OP's an a-hole at all. Because I agree with you. One, he didn't ask for it, and he even tried to resist it. And you know what? The other guy wanted to do it. Cool. That's up to him. That's on him. My thing is this. When does it end? This feels like one of those like, you're pressured into doing what looks nice on paper and then is a disaster in practice. Because when does it end? Because say OP turns around and does it for the person behind him, right? Then is the person behind him also expected to do that for the person behind him? And then when does it end?
Like in reality, it doesn't make sense. What if someone wants to order like a lot of food?
Oh, yeah. Then you feel weird because now you're like, someone's paying for it, so you don't want to order too much. But then you
Right,
also don't want to be obligated to change your order just because someone's doing something out of their own goodwill.
right.
I hate situations like that. I'm all for, you can do something nice, but you shouldn't coerce someone else into doing it unless it directly affects you and, in a meaningful way, if that makes sense. I think the guy who offered to pay for OP's popcorn is kind of the jerk here because it's so judgmental and it's kind of giving high and mighty to go and say, to stop him, a total stranger, by the way, they have no relationship, to say, "Oh, well, I paid for your refill popcorn at the movies." Or, I'm assuming at the movies. Maybe it's not the movies, just the food cart, I guess. "I paid for your refill popcorn, so you better pay for the person behind you." Excuse me? This seems like a setup when you think about it. It's like a horrible setup. But let's see. And you know what? I will say quick kudos to OP for standing his ground. I, in a public setting like that, I don't know if I would have so confidently walked away. I think I would have just probably returned the refill popcorn, if that makes sense. Like I would have given it to the man who paid it for me and said, "Here, you can have it. I'm just going to get my own order."
Yeah.
Because it's just awkward.
Yeah, I think the more I think about it, I think in general, it's just yeah, if you want to pay for someone, pay for
Yeah.
someone, but don't force
Them to
that
then,
person to pay for someone else too. That's just
it's weird.
yeah.
It's weird. Mm-mm. But let's see. OP says, quote, pay it forward. That's what it's all about. I thanked him again and escaped. I came for the cheapest thing on the menu. Popcorn is like $2, and there was a large family behind me, and most people were coming in big groups for alcohol. So I might have gotten free popcorn, and I appreciate the gesture, but I might then have had to shell out $50 for beer for a bunch of randos. And I've never liked the pass it on thing. It's generous of the first person, then the last person gets a freebie, but as is often said, here, all the middle people get their prices randomized, and it's a headache for the workers. So I will pay it forward sometime, and I definitely have in the past, but I didn't play along in the moment, and I could tell the man felt his grand gesture was wasted. So, am I the a hole? No, I don't think you are. If anything, maybe perhaps this is another hot take, but I think people who start this trend, start the whole pass on thing, and then force it on other people, man, y'all are some hypocritical a-holes because the whole point of the pass it on is let me do something nice for someone else, something genuine, right? But the minute you kind of make it into some sort of spectacle, something to be enforced, something that you're kind of like sitting on your high, mighty chair and saying, oh, look at this nice thing I did. Now let me see you do it. Then I just think you're an a hole. You're some sort of weird, justified, like self righteous a hole.
Or film it and post it on YouTube.
Oh, that's true. Or one of those people that are just like trying to set up and get a, you know, social media moment. It gives me the ick, to be honest.
What do the comments say? Maybe we're missing something.
Please let the store be the one where the internet is on, well, I'm just saying, on the right side, aka my side. First comment says, not the whole, you tried to turn down his offer. If he wanted to do a good deed, he should have chosen a way that will be more impactful than buying a popcorn for a random stranger. Oh, that's true. That's true. If he's so like serious about it, that's what he should have done. Another comment, not that I work in retail and someone tried doing this. I had to explain to them, no, it's a nightmare to execute and it puts people on the spot to spend more than they wanted to at times. I was called every name in the book, un-American, ruined the holidays, a-hole, what have you. Oh, I guess something I didn't really consider too is that's true. It's probably more of a hassle for the worker that has to ring people up this way. Because how does that work? So the person that you rang up or you're about to finish with, they stand to the side until the person after them orders. And then you have to kind of just have this weird like layover payment process. Man, if I was working retail, I would just I'm just trying to do my job. Please don't make it more complicated than it is. Or even food service industries or any service industry, please don't do this to people. Unless genuinely like there's a easy way to do it and it's like a one-time thing. Yeah. Yeah, no. But I feel bad that now like, people that say no, if you accept the offer and then you say no, people turn around you by saying, "Oh, you're the jerk now because you got the quote unquote benefit, but you're not giving it up." Which is another weird mentality I think people have. Like if I see someone get something good, right? Say the person in front of us gets a freebie, right? Because the person before them paid for their order. First thing that goes through my mind is, "Oh, good for them." And also my second thought, because I'm no angel. Dang, I wish it had been one spot up in this dang line. But I wouldn't then go towards, "Oh, that person ahead of us better pay for our meal too." Like at no point would I think that. Do people actually genuinely believe this? Or is this something like a bystander's view, where bystanders will like point at the situation and judge without actually thinking it through? Like, would you ever think that way? Someone before you get something good and all of a sudden you're like, "Oh, where's my stuff?"
There's a huge part of the population that thinks that way, unfortunately, in my opinion.
But it's not, it doesn't make sense. That's
Yeah.
like saying if a pie dropped on if a pie dropped from the sky on someone's head in front of me and they got a free pie, that I would be pissed at that person because they got a free pie.
I mean, like, I guess those people will argue that pie was never free,
That's
and
true.
I somehow pay for that pie, that particular pie, right?
I
I
don't
don't
like
want to
that
get
way
too
of
deep
thinking.
into this, but a lot of people think that way, where if someone gets something seemingly for free, they feel like they're entitled to that thing as well,
That's
or
so
they're gonna
weird.
say that they shouldn't have gotten it.
Guys, if you take anything from this, let people be happy. If something good happens for them, just clap and move on. Clap and move on. Everyone will be happier that way. I guarantee. Because say you make a fuss, odds are that person definitely will not be buying you lunch anyway, right? So why not do everyone a favor and just be happy and move on, right? So let's look at the verdict. Verdict is not the a-hole. So I'm glad. I'm not gonna lie, part of me was kind of worried that Reddit was gonna say, "You a-hole, how dare you accept free food and not give it up," or something. So I'm glad we're on the same page. Now, our last story is also from the subreddit AITH. And I wanted to end it with something a little bit happy. So, of course, we're going to end it with a Valentine's sort of story. Am I the a-hole for asking my girlfriend to cancel her Galentine's dinner party? Do you know what Galentine's is?
Is it a Valentine celebration with your friends?
Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, it's with your friends, but I have to admit, I usually only see Galentine's celebrated by women
Okay.
with their girlfriends. Not to say guys can't. If you guys know of any, or if you guys are listening and any dudes out there and are celebrating guy Galentines, let me know. Let me know.
Dudentine.
Dudentines. Galentines.
Yeah, that doesn't
Oh,
sound as good.
Dudentines does sound better. Oh, he says, I, 20-year-old female, have been with my girlfriend, 20-year-old female, for almost 4 years. We got together back in high school and are now both in college in the same city, so we live together. When she started college, she met a group of 5 girls who she became friends with. Over the past year and a half, I've seen them many times and got to know them, and they're nice people. Since they're all single, they decide to throw a Galentine's dinner. For those who don't know, it's like a Valentine's Day themed dinner party with your friends. A lot of people have been doing on TikTok. So my girlfriend was invited to that. And at first she said yes, because it was supposed to be on Saturday, but they ended up moving to Friday. For context, since we've been together, my girlfriend and I take turns planning Valentine's Day. And this year it was my turn to plan it. I don't want to reveal too much in case my girlfriend sees this post, but I made dinner plans. So when she told me the dinner was moved to Friday, I asked her if it could be moved to another day, maybe the next Friday, because I had already made reservations. She asked her friends, who said that it had to be on Friday because otherwise the Valentine's Day vibes weren't there. I asked my girlfriend if she'd mind skipping the dinner for this time, and she agreed, so she told her friends that she wouldn't be able to be there. I feel like the friends are being very unusually strict about this. I know some people are very much, oh, it's on the holiday. We have to celebrate on the holiday for the vibes. But to be honest, a week difference. And for Valentine's, I don't think there's that much of a change in the vibes if you have the same people, great company, great food there. Although maybe I'm more chill because I don't know. I'll tell you guys this, because me and my girlfriends are sometimes a little bit busy. We have had a Christmas birthday celebration, belated New Year's celebration, all in one, 3 in 1, celebrate in like May before. We have done that before. So maybe I'm unusual, but I feel like as long as the right people are there and like the people are the vibes, you know? Otherwise, does it really need to be so strict? Unless that's the only date that's available for everyone, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. It seems like the friends are just insistent because they're single and they don't want to be alone on Valentine's, if I want to
Mm.
be honest.
That's what I'm thinking as well, that everyone's going to be celebrating, everyone's going to be posting photos, videos, and they're going to feel some sort of way. So they're partly having the celebration to kind of get away from that.
I'm just gonna say it. Shame on the friends. Because while I feel sympathy, and before you guys rolling your eyes and go, "V, you don't understand what it's like to be single Valentine." Oh, I do. I used to be the only single gal in my entire friend circle for years. Okay. And guess what? Valentine's Day was fun for me because one, I mean, I'm happy for the girlfriends. Like, you should be happy for other couples. But on the other hand, there's so many different ways to celebrate love and not just between romantic couples. Like, I don't know, if you have siblings, like get your siblings some flowers or something, or like join in on some of the cute trends, like the heart shaped pastries and the cute like heart shaped donuts that like the all the promos and stuff. Who says they're only for couples? You can enjoy them. Shower yourself with love on that day.
What if you're alone and have no one?
Then you celebrate and you shower yourself with love.
But what if you don't feel that way?
I don't know. I've always been very much you need to generate your own love because love does not come for free. It's not that free pie from the sky. But jokes aside, I get it. I'm sending y'all virtual hugs if you are dealing with a lonely Valentine's because you know what? You're not alone. because you're here with me. And but with me. So let's see. I'm hoping the friends will just back off and say, you know what, girl, you're so right. Enjoy your day with your lady. OP says, the problem is her friends don't understand why she canceled and started getting upset at me. They're trying to convince her to go to the dinner party instead of what I have planned and are saying that I'm controlling and don't let her see friends. She has tried to explain that it was normal for her to spend Valentine's Day with her girlfriend because that's what the day's about. But they're basically telling her to ditch me because I'm, quote, a jealous, manipulative control freak. That's not quite the description I would describe a friend's partner. If I knew that their partner was planning something really nice and romantic, I would say, "Girl, forget about us. Go. Go to your partner. Enjoy Valentine's Day to the fullest. You go." If anything, I feel like you're kind of rude for butting in on a couple's Valentine's Day. You're like the unwelcome, in this case, third, fourth, fifth wheel.
Yeah. I mean, especially since the date was changed as well.
Yeah, like they're in the wrong. They're the ones that changed it, not OP. Come on. No, OP says, I don't really feel like I'm the wrong here, but they're starting to make me feel guilty about it. I did technically ask her to cancel, but I never forced her or anything, and I'm pretty sure she would have canceled on her own anyway. I can understand how this is seen as controlling, but I also don't know if I'm being unreasonable or not. It seemed like a normal thing to ask to me. I also should say that I've always kind of felt like her friends don't take our relationship seriously. I don't want to make this post too long, but I have a few examples of them just disregarding our relationship if anyone wants to know. I don't know if it's because they're all single or because we're both women, but I've had that feeling for a while, so maybe that has to do with it. Please tell me if I'm in the wrong here. I really need another perspective. And there is an edit from OP. Edit. I just really want to insist on the fact that I am a woman. People are talking about gender roles and assume that I'm a guy, but I'm not. I mean, OP was pretty clear. And I'll be honest, I don't think the gender has anything to do with the issue. I just think the friends are misery likes company type of vibes. Like they're all single. They want to have this grand day and Valentine's. And I get that. And they can have that. But they shouldn't force Opie's girlfriend to do the same thing. Let her be happy. You know what my biggest pet peeve is? People who can't stand seeing other people happy. The only time I can't stand when someone's happy is if they're my enemy, okay? That's the only time you're justified to do that. If they are your mortal enemy, if they freaking robbed you, did something really bad to you, I don't know, the affair partner, sure. Like you can display hate and, anger towards a lot of things. But towards your friend's partner who is trying to shower her with love, you're just a bad friend. Man, I hate to say this. We might be almost potentially 4 for 4 here, but maybe not a breakup, but break up the friendship. Those girls gotta go. Mm-mm-mm. Because if they are not taking the relationship seriously and they're kind of trying to undermine it and weasel their way into it by interfering and whispering things in your partner's ear, I just don't think that's the type of energy you want to surround yourself with. I, I think really, you might not be able to choose who your biological family members are, right? But in life, you get a lot of freedom in choosing your friends, who I would say they're the family that you choose. They influence you a lot, the people around you. So I would be particularly careful about the company you keep. OP, I'm not saying that you should then, quote, be controlling and say to your girlfriend, oh, you can't be friends with them, but more so maybe address some of these issues in a more clear and serious manner with their girlfriend and see what she thinks. Because you shouldn't be made the bad guy, or in this case, bad girl, for just wanting to treat your girlfriend. I hate this. Like, OP was just trying to have a nice Valentine's Day. And I just imagine all the girls are saying, oh, how controlling, how selfish. How could you do this?
Aren't they being controlling? When you
Yes.
think about it?
Pot calling the kettle black. The gaslighting is so strong here. They're just whispering in her ear, trying to make her change her mind. Like, even though she's already told them no, by the way. But no, it's OP's fault. How dare OP try to plan a nice dinner on Valentine's Day? How dare she? So very easy, not to do not let them gaslight you. What's your verdict?
Not the a-hole, of course.
First comment from Creepy Stable. Interesting name. Not they sounds like your girlfriend's friends are the ones trying to control her. You are not being unreasonable. Honey, Did you jump on Reddit real quick and comment this?
You see, that's posted 15 seconds ago.
Actually, 15 hours ago. Are you
Ooh.
sure it's not you? OP says, not OP. Commenter says, I'm assuming they don't have boyfriends and that's why you're being accused of being controlling. When you want to spend a Valentine's Day you already planned with the person you plan to have it with, tell them to take their jealousy and shove it. Yes. Agreed. Another comment. Not they just so we're all clear, Galentine's Day was a fictional holiday created on the show Parks and Rec. On the episode, it was on February 13th, and it was a day for Leslie Knope. Oh, please don't come after me. I don't know this actress's name, so I'm pretty sure I'm butchering it. Leslie K, to celebrate the woman in her life. Since then, it has become a holiday celebrating friendship between women, and anyone can celebrate whether they're married, dating, or single. It's not a replacement for Valentine's Day, it is its own separate thing. I don't think it's weird or wrong for your girlfriend to celebrate Galentine's Day with her friends, and it isn't wrong for her to celebrate Valentine's Day with you. All this was because of a schedule conflict because they changed the date. You had already made your plans, and your girlfriend agreed to spend the evening with you. Her friends' opinions don't matter, and it is on her to explain that. She decided to spend the day with you. If her presence is essential, then they can reschedule.
Someone rhymed.
Huh?
Someone rhymed at the end.
It's so much rhyming. It was almost a tongue twister for me. But I think it's pretty clear cut. I agree. Man, we're having some very soothing, I would say, comments today. Very soothing, very relatable comments, I want to say. I agree. Okay, biggest thing that I didn't even think about that the comment brought up. If her presence is so important to them and they value the friendship so much, why not just move it? Move it 1 day, move it 2 days, a week, move it a month. Or in my case, we've moved it 6 months. I don't recommend it because it gets very funny and confusing. Me and my friends, I'll tell you guys this. As we've grown older and we don't all live close by to each other, or that close, I want to say, when we do get together, there was one time like we celebrate someone's birthday and Christmas a month after, which was fine. And then there was one year things got really chaotic with everything, and we celebrated 6 months. And so it was literally, I think, spring and like flowers were in bloom, and we were like, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy Birthday. And honestly, it's become a sort of running joke between me and the girls because it's so funny, wholesome, and we know the intent is there. As long as your loved ones are there, the vibe is there. People make the vibe, not the date. Although I did not know Galentine's originated from a show, Parks and Rec. I've heard of the show. We've never seen it though. You guys will have to let me know if it's good. Like, have you guys seen it? Is it worth the watch? In my mind, I'm thinking, is it a show kind of like Brooklyn Nine-Nine? Because that's one of my favorite sitcom-esque type of shows ever. Amazing. So if it's anything like that, I'll enjoy it. So those were all our stories. And I hope you guys felt love and joy, like sitting in on this kind of Galentine's plus M, my fiance, but Galentine's chat with me today. And I hope you're enjoying it. You are not alone, girls and guys and dudettes and whomever. I'm here for you. We're having a good time here. And I hope that you make sure to spend some time to love yourself, treat yourself to something nice, like a heart-shaped donut. I don't know, one of those like pink themed foods that people always promote for Valentine's. I was trying to think of something like maybe like other than pastries, but I can only think of pastries. Make it yourself a little heart-shaped cake or your favorite treat, whatever it may be. And have a good, happy Valentine's Day, guys. And if you enjoyed this, don't forget to like this episode and hit subscribe. Although, if you're listening on Spotify, don't forget to rate me 5 stars. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.